Walk down any major city street in 2025 and you'll see something bizarre. People wearing football shirts who have absolutely no idea what position a midfielder plays. Vintage Arsenal jerseys paired with designer jeans and $400 sneakers. Classic Brazil kits worn by someone who couldn't name a single player on the team. A 1998 France shirt on a girl at a rooftop bar in Brooklyn who's never watched a match in her life. Football shirts have gone from stadium wear to street style, from fan gear to fashion statement, and it's one of the strangest cultural shifts in recent memory. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Most people wearing football shirts as fashion have zero connection to the sport. They don't know the teams. They don't follow the leagues. They couldn't tell you the difference between the Premier League and La Liga if their Instagram engagement depended on it. But they know that a vintage AC Milan jersey looks cool with baggy jeans and New Balance sneakers, and that's apparently all that matters now. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to when football shirts were actually just for football. In the 1950s and 60s, jerseys were simple, functional, and made from heavy cotton that would soak up approximately your body weight in sweat during a match. They had basic colors, maybe a crest, and that was it. Players wore them, fans wore them to matches. Nobody was pairing them with Prada bags and calling it a look. The 1970s started changing things. Brands like Adidas and Umbro began making jerseys with more distinctive designs. The 1978 Argentina kit became iconic, not just because of the team, but because the design was actually beautiful. Those light blue and white stripes were art. But still, these were sports garments. You wore them to support your team, not to make a fashion statement at a coffee shop in Shoreditch. Then the 1990s happened, and football shirt design went absolutely insane in the best possible way. The 1990 West Germany kit with those wild geometric patterns. The 1994 Nigeria jersey that looked like it was designed by someone having a fever dream about the future. The 1996 Barcelona kit with that electric blue and burgundy combination. Mexico's 1998 jersey with Aztec patterns. These weren't just sports uniforms anymore. They were wearable art that happened to be designed for athletic performance. But here's the crucial part. In the 90s, people wearing these shirts actually cared about football. You wore a Manchester United shirt because you supported Manchester United, not because it matched your aesthetic. You wore a Brazil jersey because you loved watching Ronaldo play, not because vintage sportswear was trending on TikTok. There was authenticity, there was meaning, there was an actual connection between the garment and the culture it represented. The shift started happening around 2015 when streetwear culture began cannibalizing everything in sight. Supreme had already made it cool to wear sports jerseys as fashion. Palace was mixing skate culture with football references. Suddenly, fashion kids who'd never kicked a ball in their lives started noticing that vintage football shirts had incredible graphics, bold colors, and a retro appeal that fit perfectly with the 90s nostalgia wave that was taking over. Vintage stores caught on fast. That old Napoli shirt gathering dust in a donation bin, suddenly worth $150. A 1990s Ajax jersey in good condition, $200 easy, maybe $400 if it's the right year. Rare international kits from the 80s and 90s started selling for insane prices. The market exploded. Depop and Grailed became flooded with football shirts being sold to people who couldn't care less about the sport, but loved the aesthetic. Then the fashion industry did what it always does. It saw something authentic happening in street culture and immediately tried to monetize it. Luxury brands started collaborating with football clubs. Palace partnered with Juventus. Gucci did a collection with North London clubs. Balenciaga started making football-inspired pieces that cost $800 and looked worse than the $600 original. High fashion had discovered football shirts, and that was basically the beginning of the end of any remaining authenticity. By 2020, Instagram had turned football shirts into a full-blown trend. Fashion influencers who'd never expressed any interest in sports suddenly started posting outfit photos in vintage jerseys. Fit check videos featured classic football shirts styled with cargo pants and designer accessories. The algorithm loved it because it was colorful, nostalgic, and different from the minimalist beige aesthetic that had dominated for years. Celebrities jumped on board because of course they did. Bella Hadid was photographed in a vintage Argentina shirt. Drake wore a rare Ajax jersey. Rihanna showed up somewhere in a classic Brazil kit. Once celebrities started wearing them, it was over. Football shirts officially became fashion, and the connection to actual football became completely optional. The styling is what really shows how disconnected this trend is from sports culture. People are wearing football shirts tucked into high-waisted vintage Levi's with loafers. trousers, layered under blazers with gold jewelry, paired with miniskirts and cowboy boots. These are outfits that would get you laughed out of an actual football stadium, but they look great on Instagram, and that's what matters in 2025. What's particularly funny is watching people try to explain why they're wearing a specific team's shirt when they clearly know nothing about them. Oh, I just love the colors, or the design is so cool, or it's vintage, which are all valid reasons to wear something, but there's this awkward dance where they're trying not to admit they have zero connection to the club or the sport. Meanwhile, actual football fans are watching this happen with a mixture of amusement and mild irritation. The vintage market has become absolutely predatory. Resellers are buying up old football shirts in bulk and flipping them for 10 times the price to fashion kids who don't know any better. A shirt that would have cost $5 at a charity shop 5 years ago now goes for $100 plus because it's been labeled vintage sportswear and listed with aesthetic photos and hashtags. The people who actually wore these shirts to support their teams can't afford to buy them back as nostalgia pieces. Then there's the replica versus authentic debate, which has gotten completely twisted. In football culture, wearing a fake jersey is generally frowned upon. You support your team by buying official merchandise, but in fashion culture, nobody cares if it's real or fake as long as it looks good in photos. You've got people wearing knockoff vintage shirts they bought on Etsy, and it doesn't matter because they're not wearing it for the team anyway, they're wearing it for the aesthetic. The irony is that modern football shirts are actually terrible for fashion. They're covered in sponsor logos, betting companies, airlines, random corporations that make them look like NASCAR uniforms. They're made from synthetic performance fabrics that photograph weirdly and don't drape well. But vintage shirts from the 80s and 90s, those were made from cotton, had minimal branding, and featured bold designs that actually work as fashion pieces. So the trend is specifically about old football shirts, not new ones, which creates this weird situation where fashion is celebrating football's past while ignoring its present. What's really happening here is that football shirts have become signifiers of cultural capital. Wearing a rare vintage jersey shows that you know about vintage sportswear culture, that you have access to good vintage stores or resale platforms, that you understand how to style athletic wear in unexpected ways. It's not about football, it's about demonstrating that you're plugged into current fashion trends and have the knowledge and resources to participate. The Gen Z adoption of this trend is particularly interesting because many of them have no childhood memories of these jerseys. They weren't watching the 1998 World Cup. They don't remember when these shirts were current. They're engaging with them purely as aesthetic objects, divorced from their original context, which is both fascinating and kind of sad. It's like wearing band t-shirts for bands you've never listened to, except the band is a football club and the music is 90 minutes of people kicking a ball around. Social media has created this echo chamber where football shirts as fashion makes perfect sense because everyone in your feed is doing it. You see 50 people styling vintage jerseys in cool ways, and suddenly it seems normal, even obvious. You forget that outside of certain fashion-forward urban bubbles, wearing a football shirt when you're not actually involved in football culture is still pretty weird. The environmental angle is darkly funny too. Fast fashion has convinced people that buying vintage is sustainable and ethical, so they feel good about buying old football shirts, but they're buying them from resellers who've created an entire industry around commodifying working-class sports culture and selling it back at luxury prices. It's gentrification in clothing form, taking something that belonged to one community, stripping it of its original meaning, and repackaging it for wealthier consumers. Some football clubs have actually started leaning into this, releasing retro versions of classic kits specifically marketed to fashion consumers rather than fans. These cost more than current jerseys and are sold through fashion retailers instead of sports stores. It's smart business, but it's also a perfect example of how capitalism takes authentic cultural moments and turns them into products. The really wild part is that this trend has made actual football fans more self-conscious about wearing their team's shirts in public. If you wear a vintage jersey now, people might assume you're making a fashion statement rather than supporting your team. The meaning has been so diluted that the original purpose, showing team loyalty, has become ambiguous. You have to actively signal that you're a real fan, not just someone who thinks the shirt looks cool. Looking at where we are in 2025, football shirts as fashion represents everything about how trends work now. Something authentic and meaningful gets discovered by fashion culture, gets stripped of its original context, gets commodified and resold at inflated prices, gets adopted by people with no connection to its origins, and eventually becomes so mainstream that it loses all meaning. Then everyone moves on to the next thing, leaving behind a market full of overpriced vintage jerseys and a lot of confused football fans. What's truly fascinating is how this trend reveals our relationship with authenticity and cultural appropriation in fashion. We want the aesthetic of belonging to something, a team, a culture, a movement, without actually having to participate in it. We want the visual signifiers of identity without the commitment. Football shirts let people cosplay as sports fans, as working class culture, as 90s nostalgia, without actually engaging with any of those things in a meaningful way. The psychology is pretty transparent. Football shirts are colorful, bold, and nostalgic in a way that feels authentic, even when it's not. They're a rebellion against minimalist fashion and boring basics. They're conversation starters. They're relatively affordable compared to designer pieces, but still signal that you know about fashion trends. They're the perfect Instagram garment, visually interesting, culturally loaded, and just obscure enough to make you seem knowledgeable. Whether you think football shirts as fashion is a fun trend or cultural appropriation probably depends on your relationship with football culture. Actual fans seem mostly amused by it, occasionally annoyed when they can't find affordable vintage shirts anymore, but generally unbothered. Fashion people think it's a natural evolution of streetwear and sportswear mixing, and people who care about neither fashion nor football are just confused about why everyone's suddenly dressed for a match that's never happening. What's certain is that this trend has fundamentally changed what football shirts mean. They're no longer just about supporting your team. They're fashion items, investment pieces, aesthetic objects, and cultural signifiers. They exist in multiple contexts simultaneously, meaning different things to different people, which is either the beautiful complexity of modern fashion or a depressing example of how capitalism strips meaning from everything it touches. And honestly, that's more than you'd expect from what's basically just shirts that people wear to watch sports. Except now people who don't watch sports wear them too, and everyone's pretending this makes perfect sense.